What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Idle Heroes. I want to thank you guys so much for coming out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button to show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, today is event day. Brings new events to us, and that's what it's always great for, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about them, do a little bit of a newbie guide to them as well, and that's it. Alright, Anniversary Carnival is still open right now. It won't be open by the time this gets uploaded. It'll have like an hour left. So if you got any of these left over, make sure you go ahead and smash them out. If you're on official, I would probably recommend you pick up the orbs. If you're on the private server, super chips aren't a bad buy. I bought like 112. It was a lot. But anyways, value packs. So we've got Cruise for $100. That's a lot of money for a Cruise, but it's a thing. We've also got a new skin here. The Faithblade skin. He looks kind of like an android. Kind of what he looks like. Just some kind of futuristic cyber machine of death. Not bad. But is it worth $70 to you? I don't know. Not for me. I don't have a Faithblade to use. Well, I do. I have one in the bag. But, you know, whatevs. Still not picking that sucker up unless it came with a Faithblade. And even then, probably not picking it up. So anyways, packages, pretty much casino chips. It's a casino event. It's, to be expected. With that out of the way, what's up with the casino event? Actually a pretty bad one. I'm just gonna say it. This one kind of sucks. It's like probably the worst casino event I've seen in a very long time. The big top reward here is a pack of 10 skin shards. Not 10 skin shards. 10 shards for one skin. That's a lot for, just... that's not a... It's a lot of spins for a skin. I mean, before we've gotten a 5-star hero and a skin, but this is just a skin. I'm not big on it. Definitely not worth 500 in my opinion. On the private server, of course, you've got buttloads of casino chips. Probably it's not a big deal. But for official, this is just not worth it for me. Flamestrike at 400. If you guys don't know much about Flamestrike, this is the cheese hero of PvP pretty much. Aiden is kind of doing a little better than her right now, but whatevs. She's still a cheese hero. The main thing about Flamestrike is she gets stronger as your allies die. She also gets stronger as the enemies die, so if you build her with a suicide team, she gets very strong and she can one-shot the enemy team. It's kind of what she's used for. Cheese hero, not a very skillful build. You don't really need to put a lot of thought into her. It's just build a team that dies. You're pretty much good to go. And that's what Flamestrike's primary use is PvP, kind of a troll cheese hero. I'm not a big fan of her. I don't really like the Flamestrike thing. It's not my jam, and she doesn't look that cool either to me. I'd rather build an Aiden if I was going to cheese, which I might even do. I don't know. I'm not really big on her, so for official, I'm actually going to probably stop here at 300. Snag up the 10 total profit orbs you'll grab, and the 10 super chips with a couple artifacts for food. But yeah, I'm probably going to stop at 300. I don't care for these two. It's not worth the extra 200 chips in my opinion. I'm not going to buy them. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Like I said, on private server, not a big deal. You've got plenty of the chips, so go ahead and knock out 500 points. Not a huge deal. This is going to bring us down to the Militants event. Now, if you are a new player and you do not have enough tickets to complete the entire event, BT dubs, it takes, I think, was it 300 total tickets to complete the event. And that's if you win every battle. 75 to finish Crystal Crown, and 225 to finish Trial of the Champion. If you're a new player and you do not have 300, but you have like 190, 170, I would say screw the Crystal Crown League and do your best to finish Trial of the Champion instead. The main reason, Crystal Crown League rewards, as always, is 1,000 gems total for full completion. It's not bad, it's 3,000 gems. 5 super chips. On official, super chips super suck. So that's pretty much true. Can you get lucky with them? Yes. Will you likely? Probably not. They're mediocre at best. And you also get an exclusive red artifact. If you can fully complete, obviously that's fine. But if you have to pick between one or the other, obviously this is going to be the better option. You get 2,000 gems instead of 1,000, so twice as many gems. You get 5 profit orbs instead of 5 super chips, which profit orbs are much, much, much more better, especially on official. And you also get a 5-star hero, in this case, Walter. So if you can only complete one of these events, you don't have quite enough to do them both, do the Trial of Champion instead of the Crystal Crown, and just do what you can at Crystal Crown. That's my advice to you, because it's just, the rewards are better. That's how it is. So anyways, if you're new to the game, you don't know much about the hero, I'm going to talk about that, because why not? You also pick up this pretty little avatar. It looks like a Joker. It's got the little Joker head tassels, it looks like. I don't know if that's a big smile. Could be a smile. He looks kind of happy. I don't know. Weird avatar. Not really my taste, but whatevs. Anyways, Waltar. If you're new to the game, you don't know, Walter actually is a very effective unit for an early build, and he does transition pretty decently into PvP for a PvE hero. The main thing about Walter, he does do poison damage. It's a damage over time effect. That's kind of what's nice about him. And he also has a chance to stun enemies. So that's where he kind of transitions better to PvP. He has some crowd control, which is nice. But his main job is going to be boss damage. He has a decent amount of armor break. Actually, his armor break kind of blows one. It used to be better. Whatevs. Well, I guess that's a 5-star Walter. It does get better. But anyways, he also does increase damage against poisoned enemies. Fantastically enough, he also poisons enemies. So he's going to buff his own damage, which is great. It's another reason he's pretty good against bosses. Kind of his thing. When he falls below half health, he also poisons enemies. So he's just a poisoner. He's a damage over time unit, works pretty well against bosses, does pretty decent damage, but having crowd control means later on you can move him to PvP, and he does pretty decently there as well. So that's Walter for you. If you're new to the game, definitely not a bad thing to pick up. I have one on my official server. He's only 9-star right now, but he will be one copy closer to 10-star. Any hoodles. With that said, Milton's event, check, complete, out of the way. Apparently there's a little event going on for the Facebook fan page. If you like things, you get things. 450 gems, not bad. There's more rewards available on the page. I haven't gone there because I'm not going to lie, guys. I get on Facebook maybe once a year, and that's usually because I have to sign into something using it. I don't use Facebook. I'm not a Facebooker. With that out of the way, the last thing here is going to be the hero exchange on the altar. Good news, they're both good heroes. That's nice, right? So we'll talk a little about both of them. First up, Valentino. I do really like Valentino, mainly because when you're new to a game, the first thing, new to any game, but, well, most games. Anyways, this game, if you're new to Idle Heroes, generally the first thing you build is a PvE team. You want to do a lot of boss damage, and you really want a good aspen hero. That's great. The problem with those two things is they don't transition well into PvP. PvE heroes usually don't have crowd control, which is very, very good in PvP. So you have a lot of issues beating people that have built PvP teams. You know, demon hunters, things like that are going to give you some fits because they're going to keep your team crowd controlled while the rest of the team kind of kills you off. And that's one thing Valentino's really good at because he has crowd control. All right, he's got crowd control as active skill, which is very nice and handy for your team. But the great thing about him is he also gives every one of your allies' active skills a chance to stun enemies. That's very, very, very nice. Especially for a team that's comprised of mainly units without any version of crowd control, Valentino does give a PvE team a lot more viability in PvP when you're just swapping over to it to start working in PvP. Very nice hero for that. Not to mention, he's actually a pretty useful hero overall. He doesn't do great damage against bosses, pretty mediocre damage, but like I said, very good in PvP, really solid in Tower of Oblivion because it's kind of PvP based, like you need a lot of crowd control there. He's also immune to stun, which is fantastic for PvP. If you can't be stunned, that's just one form of crowd control you don't have to worry about. It's great. But more than that is his versatility. Valentino can be built with crit for kind of nuky damage. He can be built as an attack hero. He can be built fast with speed to be more crowd control-y, but you can also run him in your 1 slot because his passive skill here, when he falls below 80% health, he increases his own reduced damage by 20% for 5 rounds. This goes all the way up to 50% when he's 10-star. So 50% damage reduction for 5 rounds is pretty freaking handy, especially if you run a reduced damage artifact on him. He can become very, very tanky in your 1 slot, which is nice. He does do dual purpose. He can tank a lot, and he can also deal some crowd control, while also boosting your entire team's chance to crowd control. Very, very solid unit. If you have the extra coins, he's not a bad pickup. However, he's up against some tough competition. Vesa's arguably the best all-around hero in the game. That being said, she's amazing. Okay, she's actually really, really good pretty much everywhere, more so on official than private. The main reason she falls behind a little bit on private is because in PvP on the private server, you have much, much, much more developed teams. Very, very solid all light and dark teams that have amazing crowd control. Against those teams, she does get dookied on pretty hard because she's pretty slow. They have really good crowd control and they do nuke her down pretty fast. On official, however, you don't have that same problem. Even your biggest whales on official will likely never use an all light and dark team that I've ever seen. There may be someone out there like on S1 who has that. But usually you're going to see some more more Ice Blinks, Demon Hunters, easier to build heroes. And she actually still hangs pretty decent against them. She does really good damage. But the big thing about Vesa is she's a healer. She's got an AoE heal, and she also puts out some nasty damage once she's 10-star plus with that healing ability. It's really nice for a team. And also she works very well in the Aspen dungeon because she boosts her own attack and has high heals. So that's also great. She has a natural crit, which is fantastic. Means you can build your Vesa into a crit-based Vesa. This is where you get those big, heavy, nasty nuke crits from her. It can be disgusting. She can do multiple millions of damage. It is nasty. However, if you build her crit-based, she does lose attack, which means her heals do drop lower. If you want to build a very healy Vesa, you obviously go pure attack on her, and she boosts her own attack with her basic attack, which is nice. That means as she attacks, she boosts her attack, which means her heals get stronger. Very, 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 very good unit. I cannot emphasize enough. Vesa's fantastic as an all-around unit, and if you can only afford one of these from the altar, I would say absolutely pick up the Vesa. She's just better. She's going to be better all around. Valentino is a great hero, and I do love Valentino. He's definitely got a soft spot in my heart, but he's not Vesa. He's not Vesa. He's not an Aspen hero, whereas she can do some sick damage in the Aspen, pull you to Nightmare pretty decently. So, as you can see, I've got the Vesa here, so I will be absolutely picking up that Vesa copy now that, Enable 13s are a thing. Enable 13, Enable 3, I guess 13 star. So that would leave me one Vesa copy short of a 13-star Vesa, which would be awesome on official servers. So definitely going to snag her up if you're going to look at the prices here. The altar shop, she is 5,000 and Valentino is 5,500. I guess we can just go ahead and snag her out. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Yay. And we still got 3,600 points. Coins, I guess, whatever they're called. I'll probably save those up for either Karim or Demon Hunter. Not sure yet. Maybe Gurky. We'll see. But whatevers. We got the Vesa copy. Just wanted to get that done because why not? But that's your rundown of the events. Pretty much a thing. I've also heard, now I haven't tested this out yet, so I don't know much about it. In the Notice faction thingy over here, Majigga Bob deal, is it still in there? Is it still in there? I don't think it is. It is not. Sad face. Whatever. Well, there was a little deal here the other day talking about how you can now replace enabled heroes. I don't know how that works, but I've heard if you put an enabled hero in, if you got the 7 copies, you can actually swap that to another enable 3. Does that work? I don't know. I haven't messed with it, but it is a thing that's been put in the deal. Just talk about it, I guess, for a second. But the casino event, like I said, not super great, nothing to write home about. I'm going to stop at 300 on official, grab the orbs because the orbs are awesome. A couple super chips as well because why not? Screw the Flamestrike, screw the skin shards, not worth it in my opinion. Militants event, obviously going for a full complete here because why not? It's super easy to complete. It's one of the easier events, like I said, to do. Grab that Walter copy. Awesome, especially for new players. It's one of the easiest events to complete, so that's awesome for you guys. Quite a few gems, some orbs, and a 5-star hero for very little effort. It's nice. And the hero exchange. Everything has been covered, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to dive too much into stuff today. This week we will get into some, obviously some casino. I don't know if I'll do a lot of it. There will be a super casino a video for sure, because I have 112 super chips on the private server. I'll have a little more than that, obviously, after I finish the events. But that's going to be fun. That's a lot of super chips. I've never had that many at one time, so we're going to do a little video on that, I guess, and get that knocked out. Other than that, I don't really do videos on the Militants event. There's no reason to. It's kind of boring. Not a lot to record this week, I guess, other than the casino, which isn't super exciting. But we do have the analysis from the last seasonal we can get. We got Valentino, Sigmund, Bade, and Edga to go over in hero analysis. So there's something coming out this week at least every day, and then we'll see what happens. All right? But that's me for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button to show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well, and tell your friends about it, because that definitely helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.